Yeah, hello everybody, and welcome to the presentation of our Indo-CCI Transnational Policy Paper with the title Wisdom of Place. My name is Christoff Schreckenberg, and I had the pleasure to write that paper. And I would like to give you a little introduction how we did that. Let's have a small look inside. When you open up the paper, well, you see the index with the different chapters consisting of the different recommendations and also an introduction with our approach. Well, how did we do this? What was our approach? Well, first of all, we did international desk research about all kinds of studies. We incorporated the regional policy papers written by the partners and also presented intermediate results of the paper in discussion rounds online with the project partners to see how we would go on. And the idea was to create a hands-on smart guide for decision makers and CCI lobbyists. And how did we get there? We first started with a predecessor project, Indo-Cult 2.0, dealing with new industrial culture in Central Europe. And we thought we'd pick up their philosophy and terminology to go on, consisting of looking at a holistic perspective, a quadruple helix approach, a broad innovation definition that goes beyond technology, and a broad understanding of industrial culture, which consists of tangible material elements and as well intangible non-material elements. And it relates to the industrial production in the past, present, and future. And you can describe it as a societal concept, a transdisciplinary approach, a place-bound cultural setting, a concentration of specific expertise, attitudes, values, and traditions. And it's grounded in specific institutionalized routines of industrial structures, their incorporated conventions, beliefs, and production patterns, and interlinked social factors beyond the factory itself. Well, when I first suggested the title, actually, I got some reactions from our project partners that were somehow like this. And they probably thought, well, what kind of drug did he take? What did he smoke? Whatever. But actually, I was inspired by a saying of the Lakota natives, which says, wisdom lives in places. And I thought that captures also the human side of innovation, and we can catch that. Even it's not that European, one has to say, so it's a different source. But being the correct German, of course, you write a definition. Wisdom of place is rooted in tangible heritage, its inherent spirit, but even more in the people living there and the histories they tell, growing through the talents they show. And of course, we apply this concept specifically for industrial regions in Central Europe. We came up with 14 policy recommendations. Actually, the first one, the relevance is proven and deliver, we get in detail, but that has the quality of a statement. The one that has the quality of a statement, is play fair from the bottom up. And apart from that, we can actually cluster or group the different recommendations. So the first three ones, you could say, prepare your ground or preparing the ground for further developments. The second ones concentrate on building bridges and networks. The next cluster is about giving room to go beyond. And the last one is promote profession and training. There were some things that we did not want to, actually. We did not want to get lost in semantic hell and technology domination. No. We did not want to constantly justify and argue why CCI, why creative industries are important. No. We did not want to theoretically discuss indicators and measurements of CCI innovation that can be done in other places. And we did not want to theoretically discuss about measurements of spillovers or the effects of cross-innovation. Let's go back to the overview, 3.1, the basic statement. CCI relevance is proven, establish visibility, create awareness, provide adequate funding, deliver. So this comes from a self-confident attitude, saying limit the space of delaying tactics of other interest groups, and have an eye on it that the fundraisers of the EU for the cultural and creative industries are adequate in the long run. Now let's look for preparing the ground. Let's pick out one or the other recommendation. We can't pick out all the ones and describe them, that would be too long. Here, prepare your ground. Use the regional industrial imprint as a starting point for desirable, meaningful innovation related to the UN Sustainable Development Goals, include issues of resilience. Well, this is a long one, but at least we wanted to formulate it in a way that you really understand what's meant. And of course, we talk about it to activate the specific milieu of the old industrialized regions and to reactivate a kind of pioneer spirits for nowadays challenges. Now go for the next cluster here, for the next group, build bridges and networks. So kick off initiatives of networked innovation, interpret problems as opportunities for pull innovations, fuel cross and open innovation through a multi-stakeholder approach, and position agents of the CCI as innovation catalysts who are able to create change. We have 5 recommendations that we took from the policy learning platform on research and innovation. The first one is use social network analysis to map network interactions, structure innovation networks around societal challenges, create information systems for these innovation networks, build innovation infrastructure to promote the informal networking opportunities, but also create innovation networks around the so-called S3 priorities that deal with smart specialization. Next point, give room to go beyond. So for this, we could take a look into the brochure itself. We are at 3.8 now, offer physical spaces for experiments. So we try to give some good practice examples. In the ebook, here we have Depot 2015 in Pilsen, and the Creative Incubator, which is actually an outcome of Pilsen Capital of Culture 2015. Or we have another project from Creative Saxony, working with workplaces in the countryside, connecting these places with each other and creating impulses through that and connecting activities. And of course, when we talk about giving room, it's the next point, giving mental room for experiments, 3.9. And this means you can give freedom to people, to allow them temporary exemptions, to allow innovation sabbaticals, to include silver innovators, to allow employees to spend a certain amount of their work time on their own project ideas, like 3M does, for example, and made them one of the most innovative and successful companies in the world. So this could be some aspects, or it could also be a funding program like the creative industry vouchers in Austria, where they give like small sums to SMEs, like 5,000 euro, and they can hire a service from the creative industries, all kinds of service, but it gives them the freedom to try something out that they wouldn't do otherwise, and creating a win-win situation between creative businesses and other industries. So this can also be an example to create this kind of mental room for experiments. Okay, let's move to the last chapter, and we're almost done. So let's check the promotion of professionalization and training. So these ones here from 3.11a to C are pretty self-explaining, basically also the good governments, but we want to pick that out in the end. So promote professionalization in the public sector, and think that can help a lot on both sides when you try to collaborate with each other and look at things from each other's perspective to create mutual awareness and understanding. and expand the space of opportunities for both sides. So on the one hand, bureaucrats can learn from creatives through methods like design thinking and others, like how could we adapt our planning methods to become more flexible. And of course, then on the other hand, creative companies and creative industries can also profit from them if there's more flexibility in bureaucratic procedures and so on. So to move from a no because to a yes if culture, that's how Charles Landry calls it. And of course, that's another point where there might be moderators or agents of change needed to get these processes going and to develop them further. And if you're interested in that, maybe you visit the Creative Bureaucracy Festival. So the first online activities actually start today, and I think that's a pretty good approach. So thank you for today. Thanks for listening. That was a lot in a short time. Just a small reminder to finish. Perhaps you're in the mood to take a look at our IndoCCI e-toolbox also. And apart from that, here are our contacts. Feel free to contact us. It was a pleasure to present this to you, and I think, we're done for right now, and I hope to see you later on today here in Hasselt during the conference. Thanks.